NYO-U, my name is Soyeong Park, and I'm a violinist from New Jersey studying at Princeton University. I've been incredibly lucky to be part of NYO for the first 4 seasons. I'm thrilled to be sharing with you a couple tricks for practicing fast passages and runs. Fast notes are at best exhausting and time-consuming to practice, and sometimes they even cause symptoms such as spontaneous nervous breakdowns. So here are some time and energy-saving tips that I've used in both for prepping for NYO and otherwise. Tip 1. Arguably the most universal practicing technique for practicing fast notes is something you may or may not have heard of already, which is rhythm practicing. This technique is actually applicable to not only violinists but to all other instruments as well. Rhythm practicing helps you focus on half of the notes for intonation and also helps your muscles learn half of the transitions between individual notes as well. And then when you reverse this rhythm, it helps you learn the other half of the notes and transitions. But of course, if we only do this once each, it won't stick, so it's useless. So we do this until everything is perfect. Tip 2. There's a specific method for practicing separate bow passages. So essentially what I do is practice the passage playing each note 4 times. Perfect that, and then do each note tripled. Perfect that, and then each note doubled. Perfect that, and then play the passage normally. If your notes are now pretty well evened out, but it's hard to get it up to tempo, don't worry. You can apply tip number 1 to tighten those transitions between the notes. Tip number 3. This one applies to slower passages or passages that are not completely separate bows. It's actually very simple. You just separate all the notes. However, the catch is that perfection is the end goal here. Full attention has to be on the exact coordination between your right and left hands on every single note. In applying this technique, I would recommend playing a couple times just paying attention to your string crossings. It's very easy to just butter over those when you don't really know where they are, and it's really easy to not take care of them when they're all just noodled up in slurs. Pro tip! You can add a cycle of tip number 1 here, even out your notes even more, and enhance agility in your fingers. And now that you've turned this passage into a separate bow passage, you can insert tip number 2 here, as deemed fit. To recap, the major goals when you're practicing these passages are evenness in your notes, fixing intonation, and establishing muscle memory. These 3 tips that I've shared with you today are by no means original inventions by yours truly, but they are tried and true, and they are also very versatile. Using these tips takes a little more mental focus than repetition practice, but it is less tedious and takes much less time. These tips can also build off of each other as you need them to, and if you use them well, your fast notes will be sounding clean and crisp in no time at all. So that's about it. If you thought this video was interesting and or helpful, please subscribe to NYO-U by clicking the button right here, and feel free to check out the other mini masterclasses on this channel. My name is Soyeong Park, and thank you for joining me on NYO-U.